Today we're comparing two of our favorite digital piano lines, the Roland RP series. I have the RP701 right behind me, brand new in 2021. And we're comparing it against the Kawai KDP series, the Kawai KDP120, also a brand new release for 2021. Very excited to play them and hear them, compare them, and talk about some of the features we love about both of these product lines. Stick around.
Hi, this is Ted with Alamo Music Center in beautiful downtown San Antonio, Texas.
And I'm Patrick Marr. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channels, check out our other videos, sign up for notifications, like our videos, leave us comments. We really appreciate your support and we love to interact with you guys. Well, Ted, we have to thank everybody first.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you very much for watching.
And thank you guys for subscribing and supporting us. We did just break 4,000 subscribers, so I just want to say a big thank you. It really means a lot to us, and we enjoy making these videos. We have fun doing it.
I do. It surprises me because I told you it was just last week or so I started watching our videos.
Oh no.
After over almost 2 years of making videos, I've never watched one. I do watch sax videos.
Oh yeah,
and I watch the guitar guys.
Yeah, if you haven't seen our synthesizer videos, you got to watch Zach.
And I always think they have the edge on us, and then I come in here and I find, hey man, these people like what you're doing. It's like, what? I better start paying attention a little bit.
It's good.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching, and thank you for subscribing. But yeah, we're doing a fun video today. The RP series from Roland did just get an upgrade in the line, the 701, which is behind us. It also, they have a compact version called the F701, which is very similar in feature sets, but just a more narrow, compact design. But we're looking at the RP series today, the 701 specifically behind us, but also the RP102, which is their kind of entry into the digital piano world. When we say digital piano, we kind of mean comes with its stand, comes with the bench, all the ergonomics are correct. And it's ready to go right out of the box. And we're going to be comparing that against the Kawai series, the KDP120, which is also a brand new release from Kawai. Kawai refreshed their KDP line, Kawai digital piano line, with the 120 and the 75. Both of those are priced a little bit below what the 701 is behind us, but kind of in line with the RP102. So kind of just a comparison of these affordable, full package digital pianos that will be best sellers for most retailers because of the price point, because of the feature set, and really right out of the gate, it's interesting to see what Roland, what Kawai, and we've also
what they offer.
Yeah, what they offer,
you.
and kind of seeing the full package as it is from top to bottom. And the most important things I believe are what it feels like and what it sounds like. And so Ted, you've played these before. What are the philosophies behind Roland and behind Kawai when it comes to?
Well, here's the thing. Roland was kind of a latecomer to the piano business, and in fact, they never really were in the piano business. With these electronic synthesizers, organs, and keyboards, and electronic instruments, they've been a competitor, and they've been a worthwhile competitor, not just in keyboards, but remember, they make guitar pedals and amps and all kinds of stuff. They have their fingers in a lot of really different kind of pies for them, but they all support that electronic music. And when it comes to being one of the major leaders in keyboards, it's fascinating that Roland is there when you consider they've never made an acoustic piano. And the other two major leaders actually manufacture and distribute grand and upright pianos. Yamaha and Kawai make a grand piano. So they were naturally the first ones to want to get that sound of their grand pianos into some kind of portability. So like jazz musicians, right? I mean, back in the 70s, everyone wanted a grand piano sound that sounded less than tinny and didn't feed back with microphones.
And they originally went for the electric piano.
And they went for the electric piano, which was actually, it's just like a one-stringed or so piano with piezo's underneath it. So it has like a really short decay, and they shortened the decay even more by putting leather hammers on it. And so I contribute the sound of that electric piano with the piezo a lot like the new Forte pianos that have shown up on all the digitals. And the Roland included that. And that was a major thing for both Yamaha and Kawai to put those Forte pianos in there. Now they labeled them like Mozart's piano or Chopin's, and they came up with their name. These guys call it Forte 1, 2, or 3 or something like that. And then they have a mellow forte, and they really do simulate the forte piano. And there's been a lot of people wanting to at least work with those sounds on pianos, and it's mostly because they're playing, you know, an 18th century piece. They want, you know, like, what was the newest piano? What was the latest, greatest instrument in terms of a forte piano at that time? So they'll play the piece on there. And that gives you a little bit different insight into how composers thought.
Well, yeah, and it's cool that the technology is getting to a point where the feature set is about the different voices in it. So you talk about the electric piano, you talk about the forte piano. When you go up to a new instrument that's come out, you're like, oh, I want to try out the electric pianos on here, and it's simulating what the original idea behind amplification and portability of a piano was. So fast forward, here we are, it's 2021, and people are looking for, you know, a starting instrument that, you know, can be played with headphones, that the volume can be controlled. Tuning is something that people don't want to mess with necessarily, and they're looking for an all-complete package.
And that's what you get with this Roland, their digital piano, the Kawai and the Yamaha. One thing we never talked about in terms of complete package, you get the piano, the keyboard, the sounds, and it comes with the stand, so the ergonomic, and the bench. And then it also, standard in all of them, you get a metronome. I mean, an old, nice wooden metronome that goes on a piano is cost hundreds of dollars now for an old analog crank up, and they're hard to find. I mean, most of them are batteries, or if they're wound up, they're in a plastic frame.
And eventually they wear out.
And eventually they wear out. I mean, the one that my teacher had when I was a little kid was probably pushing 100 years old when he was using it.
Well, yeah, and so it's interesting to see these as kind of replacements for spinet pianos, replacements for the old upright that was inherited and passed down the line. And, you know, it's almost like a burden to have some of these things.
It kind of really is. I mean, to a young player, you know, like what I always say, a little kid piano, in my day and age, that was a spinet. And now, if it's not anything that has at least more than 1 or 2 sounds in it, and is not a keyboard, I mean, it's set up like a piano replacement for the home, they have more than enough stuff in there to practice and get excited about.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more thrilling than studying a plain old piano, acoustic piano.
So let's talk about these instruments. So the RP series starts at the 102. I believe that comes in about $950, and really kind of is what you can expect from these different manufacturers in the price point. You get about 15 voices, 4 pianos, 11 different voices, and we're going to highlight the voices through the RP701, which has way more voices. Does jump up in price, but you know it's got decent polyphony. It's half of the 256, so it's one.
It's a 128 in stereo.
Oh yeah, 128 in stereo, and so really kind of a complete package when it comes to the bench, the setup, the ergonomics, headphone jack. It's capable with Bluetooth to be able to do Bluetooth controls. So it doesn't have Bluetooth audio, but Bluetooth MIDI. So you're able to go in with Roland's control, change the voices, transpose the instrument, start your metronome, do kind of basic functions, but really kind of just gets the job done.
Right.
The same action is actually going to be in the RP102 and in the RP701. So you do get it's the PHA4. So same action between the two of those. Price jumps up for the 701 to $1599. Does have about 350 voices, like we said. 256 note polyphony on this, so double the polyphony on this. Just a little bit more built out. You have the screen on there. This one does have the Bluetooth audio and the Bluetooth MIDI, but also both of these are going to have the supernatural Roland sample, and so that's modeling and sampling that Roland's really famous for. So really kind of listening to that on the piano sounds versus the Kawai piano sound, which is, so switching over to the KDP series, you get in the KDP75 and the 120, this feature set is very similar. And on the Roland's wattage on the speakers, on the RP102, it's 6 watts per side, so 12 watts total. On this, it's 12 watts per side, so 24 watts total. So kind of a little bit less than what you would expect for something about $1,500 or more. The Kawai is going to be 20 watts per side on the KDP120, so a little bit more full sound. And the KDP75 is going to be 9 watts per side. So the Kawai is going to have a little bit more power when it comes out of the speakers. Both the Kawai models only have the 15 voices though. So really the shining voices for Kawai are going to be the Grand Shiguru Kawai piano, the 9-foot sample. Really,
the electric is great too.
Yeah, their electrics are incredible too. But yeah, really proud of that 9-foot sample, $250,000 piano that they sample right there, and it's just incredible
for
sounding.
$1,000.
Yeah, and so let's listen to kind of some of the different voices, because I think it's important to hear those different things. Again, the Kawai, a little bit bigger speaker system, less voices, of course, than the 701. On the polyphony side of things, 192 on both the KDP75 and the 120. So a little bit more than the 102, but a little bit less than the 701. So let's take a listen. Let's hear these samples. Really, again, the biggest difference is going to be the piano sound, because that's primarily what the usage of these instruments will be. So let's check it out.
Well, Patrick, did you notice that the differences in the piano settings and the sounds?
No, it was interesting to hear you play them and like the different, inflection that you put on different pieces. To me too, it's funny because the Kawai, the KDP series, we did a video on this 120 versus the 75, and I remember when we were playing those, you had a pretty big difference in the two of those, and so we played the 120 here today, and really. So there's two different actions on those. There's the responsive hammer compact in the 75, and then the compact 2, responsive hammer compact 2 in the 120. And you just were more articulate with the 120.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with if there's an improved action, then it's going to be a little bit easier to play. It's going to feel right. It's going to feel better. And on this Roland now, what I noticed on this is there's a lot more sounds on this model than there is on the comparative, the Kawai.
Yeah, 324. So I think we said 350. It's 324
exactly. There's a lot of voices on here, and some of them are pretty deep, some of them are really neat. And now there's some of them that I don't know if it's the way I was playing, but it seemed like the volume wasn't quite there. And in terms of oomph, overall oomph, the keyboard does seem to not have in the piano section in those sounds kind of what the Kawai has. Well, but I do like this instrument a lot. But at the same time, they give you probably more voices than what you really need if they're trying to put it into that entry line. I'm not so sure this is a pure entry line keyboard for them. If it is, it's an upgraded one.
Yeah, it's $15.99, so it's a little bit more, and so that in mind with the RP102, which is this one's little brother, would probably be more in line feature set
with the same type of model
as the KDP. Yeah, because the KDP 120 is $11.99, the KDP 75 is $8.99.
They're similar.
So they all kind of fit in this price range of, okay, I'm going to shell out $1,000 for my kid or for me, and this is what, and maybe spend a little bit more, but what are the differences, and who is it for? Kind of what are the usages that I'm going to be? And so yeah, I think talking about the kind of difference in volume on these might also attribute to the speakers system that we were listening to.
I think that has a lot to do with it too. And the other thing that I'd started mentioning before about, even though Roland is a leading keyboard and effects manufacturer, they were the first guys to come out and really nail the drums. I mean, their drums is a whole different business that the other guys like Kawai and Yamaha never really quite came close to in terms of what Roland did with their drums. So they're a leading manufacturer, which only makes sense that they make something like this, because if someone was just a guitar player or a bass player and a drummer and not a keyboard player, or they learn after a while, but if they've got kids that want to learn a piano, their product loyalty, I mean, this might be something that they would definitely go and check out and compare with other instruments as well. And I would recommend it because it's a decent product.
Yeah, no, and so Roland really kind of, they shine at some of their voices, especially like you were saying, especially on drums and some of their synthesizers, electric pianos and things like that. But just kind of a completely different philosophy than the traditional piano manufacturer who gets involved with digital pianos. So really interesting to put this up against Kawai's KDP. I think Kawai kind of shines bright when it comes to the action, when it comes to the sound sample, and so really kind of ask what is the usage of this for? Is it to kind of start the musical journey for somebody? Having the different voices can be helpful, but really both of these are complete sets of
complete piano setup,
and just very cool priced. I think both of the product lines are going to be very successful. KDP and the RP, they are already successful. These are just kind of upgraded changes and things like that. We do have some specific videos on the 701, on the KDPs by themselves, but we want to kind of do a comparison side by side. Look at this is what Roland has to offer. This is what Kawai has to offer. And just, very fun to sit here and listen.
It's nice to compare them because then, at least people have these guys sell a lot of different stuff. And I mean, it's hard not to have a favorite of one thing over another. And in terms of brand loyalty, what's fascinating about being here and making all these videos is that, I look at it like a customer would look at it, but I'm trying to think, now if I were a dude looking for something, is this something I would be interested in, or what does this show me? That makes it different from anything, everything else. And it is neat to have all the wide variety of selection.
So again, I would say as far as the action goes and kind of volume oomph, if you will, for lack of a better word. The Kawai kind of, I would say,
it's got to grab you. I mean, it's got to, the instrument has to respond like what you're looking for, and it's got to inspire you. It's got to make you want to keep playing it.
Yeah, and so I would say, know what you're looking for, because I really do believe the Kawai kind of has like the piano grab, and the RP series again has that like all the music. You know, you have a little bit more versatility in what you can use it for, and might start people thinking about, hey, this is cool, synthesizers, and or you know, and it gets you involved with a little bit more voices and things like that.
And then now that if a piano is new to you and you wanted to get something more than just a basic thing, this thing really has, because it's got all these separate violin, string instruments, it's got separate instruments, it's got ensembles and all kind of stuff.
Yeah, just very cool, complete package. So very cool. Roland RP series versus Kawai KDP series. If you've owned one of the previous generations of either the RP series or the KDP series, or you've played any of the new ones, people would really appreciate your feedback. So please leave some comments, let people know what you think. Always is great insight looking at YouTube and saying, hey, do I want this? Do I want to go check these out? Is this something I'm possibly interested in? So I know a lot of people do appreciate that. Again, this is Ted. I'm Patrick with Alamo Music Center. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. Thank you guys for watching.